and security situation in the SADC region. Dr. Hage Geingob, President of the Republic of Namibia, will chair the summit in his capacity as the chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defence and Security Cooperation. Now, to give us more details on this, I'm joined by Ambassador Jerobeam Shaanika, Deputy Executive Director, Multilateral Relations and Corporations. Sir, good evening and welcome to the Daily Roundup.
Hello. Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us here this evening.
Good for having me.
Just to start with, Mr. Shaanika, the SADC Extraordinary Organ Troika Summit begins today, but take us through some of the agenda points, perhaps, and highlights of the day.
Well, the summit is starting tomorrow. What took place today was the meeting of the senior official and the ministerial committee meeting at the Troika level. The Troika meaning it is 3 countries, Namibia, which is chairing the organ, and the Zambia, which is incoming chair, and South Africa, which is the outgoing chair. Now, what happened today was that the officials were deliberating to prepare the document for the ministers, and the ministers will look at it before they can make the recommendation to heads of state. It is a summit that will then take a decision with regard to situation in the regions.
Now, the organ is managed on a Troika basis and is coordinated at the level of summit, consisting of a chairperson, incoming chairperson and outgoing chairperson, and then, of course, reports to the SADC summit. We know that President Geingob is the current chairperson of the SADC organ. Talk to us about, his role as chairperson.
No, as a chairperson of the SADC organ, the main role is to ensure that the objective of the organ and the mechanism that are put into place by the organ are carried out. The objective of SADC is to maintain peace and stability and protect people from instability, and to strengthen the infrastructure for peace. In a way, for example, when the SADC met in DRC in August, there were specific decisions made that concerning the organ or to be implemented by the organ. Now, as a chair, he has to ensure that those decisions are carried out, and then he will then report back to the summit on how these decisions were implemented. And of course, I can give you an example. For example, as when Namibia took over the chair, if I'm not mistaken, it was on the 17th of August, 2022, Angola was scheduled to hold election. So as a chair, he was mandated to ensure that he constitutes the SADC Electoral Observer Mission that is going to oversee the electoral activity in Angola. That was carried out. And in the same vein, Lesotho was scheduled to carry out elections, and as chair, he was obligated, or he was mandated to set up a SADC Electoral Observer Mission in the Kingdom of Lesotho, which was carried out, because that country, or the Kingdom of Lesotho, held election on the 7th of October, 2022. So I'm just giving example of the decision that were to be carried out.
It is expected,
and those decisions have been carried out.
Thank you. It is expected, Ambassador, that the Extraordinary Summit will consider the state of peace and security in the region, with a particular focus on the political and security situations in the kingdoms of Eswatini and Lesotho, as well as the developments in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Republic of Mozambique. Talk to us a bit about, why this is so important.
Well, it's important because, as you know, these countries situation are before the agenda of the summit. Now, when we are on the agenda of the summit, there are several step mechanisms that are in place to see how the country is assisted to overcome the challenge they are facing. For example, in Mozambique, SADC has deployed the SADC mission in Mozambique that is now primarily made up of the military personnel. But there were plan to de-escalate to the multi-dimensional deployment, meaning from military operation to the multi-dimensional that involve policing and other humanitarian activities. So SADC is there to assist the Mozambique to regain parts that were destabilized by the insurgency and to see that the life returned back to normal. This is just to give you an example.
How does a meeting of this magnitude strengthen multilateral relations between SADC countries?
Well, we strengthen multilateral relations because we belong to one region, and we want to speak, we want to coordinate our foreign policy in a way that is speaking to the interests of the region, to see that the region remain a peaceful region, to see that the people of the region attain the vision that the SADC has set itself, that is Vision 2050, that is for industrialization. They've got three pillars. One pillar is industrialization. One pillar is the infrastructure development in support of regional integration. One pillar is the social and human capital development that speak to empowering the people of the region to take ownership of the socio-economic development. And this vision is in line with Vision 2063 of the African Union and its flagship, as well as in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goal or Agenda 2030 of the United Nations. Mm-hmm. They all speak to what they call the Charter, put it in this way, to promote social progress and better standard of life in larger freedom. That we must have peace, because without peace, whatever objective we have set ourselves, it will remain a pipe dream. But as we are committing, or as we are putting out this vision, I always caution that it's not self-executing. It requires political will. It requires determination. It requires understanding of where we want to go, and especially looking in the mirrors where we come from, and we say, never again shall we return to the past, but forge a future with confidence.
Just in conclusion, Ambassador, what is the expected outcome of this gathering?
Well, I do not want to really speculate as to what the heads of state are going to decide. That I will leave that to the heads of state. But I can only tell you that is the area they will look into. But as to what will come out, I am sure they will come up with a communique that will be made available to the public.
Ambassador Shaanika, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you to the listeners who are listening.
That was Ambassador Jerobeam Shaanika speaking to us on the line. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after that. James and Verna, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Just rotate your camera for me quickly.
Oh, the other way.
There we go. That's much
Does
better.
this work?
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Mauritius, is that fine? Just center yourself because Verna is cut off there. There you go. All right.
Okay.
Are you able to tilt down the phone or the laptop? If you can tilt it down to reduce the space above your heads, because there's a little bit too much green. So how now, if they are frozen?
Hello?